In the early hours of March 2013, 7 armed federal agents surrounded an old prison in Baltimore, USA. No, they were not there to prevent an inmate from escaping, but to recapture the entire prison. And that too from one inmate. It seems like a movie plot. Tavon White was a prisoner who took over the entire prison from inside the prison. The prison was like an empire of sin that he had built himself. This prisoner did not just survive inside the prison. Rather, he ran the entire prison himself. Even 4 female prison guards became the mothers of his children. The prisoner controlled who would keep the prison guards, who would be fired. He used to buy and sell drugs worth about $100,000 a month inside this government prison. Where other prisoners got a small meal and luxurious food like lobster steak came to his table, who would get beaten in prison, who would get protection and even which guard would keep his job. This prisoner had the key to everything. But how did a single prisoner hijack an entire prison, and how did he stay out of reach even after defeat? Let's go back to 2009. The Baltimore prison was almost destroyed, almost a hell. This 150-year-old prison had been neglected and turned into a dark well of the Middle Ages. The layer of algae on the walls caused countless cockroaches to run around whenever the light was turned on, and rats reigned in the darkness. There was no heat in winter. There was no wind in summer. The prisoners spent miserable nights drenched in sweat. The guards were very few in number. The salary was so low that even fast food restaurant employees were paid more than them. Many people do not have the mental strength to handle murderers and gang leaders. So there are riots every day and contraband items are smuggled in. In short, the guards in this prison were nominal. It can be said that it was a fortress of anarchy without an owner. And into this anarchy, Tavon White appeared. A member of a terrible gang. Who was locked up here until the trial was over in an attempted murder case. On paper, he is not that important. But Tavon was a member of a notorious prison gang called the Black Guerrilla Family. The gang had been quietly influencing Baltimore prisons since 2006. Tavon quickly realized that a huge power vacuum had been created inside the prison and he was determined to fill it. Since arriving in prison, Tavon stopped small troubles and started taking responsibility for maintaining order. When different gangs are busy fighting each other, Tavon steps in and stops the fight and starts making peace. Gradually, the prisoners see that while the guards are giving up, Tavon is solving all the problems. Within a few months, which prisoner in the prison will hit whom, how any problem will be solved, everything starts with Tavon's permission. Basically, he practically takes on the role of warden from the inside. Nothing would happen inside the prison without talking to Tavon. Yes, the entire prison was under his control. After establishing peace, Tavon turned his attention to something else. There had been a little smuggling inside the prison before. But this time, Tavon built a huge illegal supply network with the help of corrupt guards. Cigarettes, drugs, and mobile phones were all available. But a $10 mobile phone had to be bought for $500. Soon, Tavon's monthly income from this illegal market reached millions of dollars. With that money, he started doing everything from buying luxury cars in his own name outside to bribing guards and giving expensive gifts. The amount of wealth that Tavon was enjoying inside the prison began to rival even the big drug dealers outside. Tavon's most unusual weapon was to recruit workers into his own group. Most of the guards in this Baltimore prison were young women. About 75% of the workers were women. Those who worked in terrible conditions every day for low wages, and Tavon took advantage of this weakness and spoke sweetly to some guards, praising their work. Basically, Tavon lied about their safety by saying these things. He deliberately did not let any commotion happen in the wards controlled by Tavon so that those guards could live in peace for a few days. Then, suddenly, he would secretly deliver expensive bags or large amounts of money to those guards in their lockers or cars, which were actually done by Tavon's people from outside. In this way, several female guards gradually became strongly attracted to Tavon. Finally, Tavon and those women crossed all limits and got involved in a secret love affair. They started meeting secretly late at night. And in return, those guards started bringing Tavon everything they needed inside the prison, including drugs, mobile phones, and everything they needed. At one point, 4 female prison guards even became the mothers of Tavon's children. 2 of them even got Tavon's name tattooed on their bodies in their crazy love. The guards went from being guards to being Tavon's henchmen and mistresses. Other prison employees also understood that challenging Tavon White meant a fight for their jobs or their lives. Through the combined influence of love, fear, and bribery, Tavon had the entire prison under his control. However, news of this story eventually reached the ears of the law enforcement officers of Byrd. The FBI conducted a secret investigation. One morning in 2013, they prepared a huge operation. Government agents and police teams entered the prison together and conducted an armed raid. The guards who worked with Tavon found themselves arrested when they came to duty that morning. A total of 25 people were charged that morning. 13 of them were prison guards and many of them were the female guards who had been involved in immoral relationships with Tavon. The whole country was shocked to learn about this incident. The news revealed the guards' tattoos and thousands of dollars hidden in their rooms. Then, due to public pressure, the notorious prison in Baltimore was closed forever in 2015. The funny thing is that even after being caught, Tavon White had the last laugh.